Most houses have secrets, but what if your home was hiding something terrifying? Imagine moving into a new place, thinking it's a fresh start, only to find a hidden room no one told you about. A room that shouldn't exist. And when you open it, you realize you were never alone. Tonight, we're diving into 3 terrifying true stories of people who found hidden rooms in their homes. And what was inside will shock you. Are you sure your house isn't hiding something? Story number 1. The room that wasn't on the blueprints. Derelict house moving into the unknown. It started when Ben and Emily moved into their new home, a 1920s house in a quiet neighborhood. The house was perfect, spacious, affordable, but a little old. The previous owners had moved out suddenly, leaving behind furniture, old books, and even family photos. Ben and Emily didn't think much of it, until one day, while rearranging furniture, they noticed something strange. A gap in the bookshelf, like it wasn't attached to the wall. Curious, Ben pushed the bookshelf, and it slid open. Behind it, a narrow, dark hallway leading to a hidden room. What was inside? Inside, the walls were covered in scratches. Not from furniture, not from animals, but handprints. On the floor, they found a small bed with restraints attached. And in the corner, a single teddy bear covered in dust. Suddenly, the air felt heavy. Emily felt a chill crawl down her spine. Then, Ben noticed something else. A camera, hidden in the corner of the room, pointing directly at the bed. Someone had watched whoever was in this room. And the worst part, the camera was still on. They ran out, locking the bookshelf behind them. And that night, they heard scratching from inside the walls. Story number 2. The room behind the mirror. House a strange feeling in the bathroom. Mark had lived in his house for 6 years. A normal modern home. No history. No creepy backstory. But there was one thing that always bothered him. His bathroom mirror. Every time he stood in front of it, he felt like he was being watched. One night, after hearing a faint tapping sound from behind the wall, he decided to investigate. He tapped on the mirror. It sounded hollow, so he removed it. Behind the mirror, instead of drywall, there was a hole, a hidden passageway. What was inside? Mark squeezed through the gap into a small, hidden room. Inside, there was an old wooden chair facing the mirror. On the walls, photos. Photos of him, sleeping, eating, even photos of him from moments he didn't remember. Suddenly, his phone buzzed. A new notification. It was a picture, a live photo, of him, standing in that exact moment. From inside the room, he turned around, but the room was empty. At least, that's what he thought. Story number 3. The underground cell. Derelict house, the creepy Airbnb discovery. Jess and her friends were on vacation when they rented an Airbnb in the countryside. The house was huge, old, and had a creepy basement. On the first night, they heard banging sounds from below. They thought it was the pipes, until they realized the basement wasn't supposed to exist. It wasn't listed in the house details. So they searched for an entrance, and behind a locked door they found it. What was inside? A hidden staircase, leading down. At the bottom, a concrete room, lined with metal bars, like a prison. Inside there were chains, a small bed, and scratch marks on the walls. And in the corner, a rusty bucket. Someone had lived here. Or worse, someone had been kept here. Suddenly, Jess' friend gasped, because on the floor, there was a fresh footprint, but it wasn't theirs. Someone else had been down there, recently, and then they heard it, from the darkness beyond the bars. A whisper. Why did you come down here? They ran, and never came back. The dark truth about hidden rooms. These stories are terrifying, but they're not rare. People have found hidden rooms in homes, hotels, even workplaces. And most of the time, what's inside is disturbing. So next time you're in an old house, look around. Check the walls, because some rooms weren't meant to be found. The final story, the room that shouldn't exist. Some hidden rooms are accidental. Some were built for safety, but some were built for something else. A man bought an old Victorian house and noticed something strange. The house was big, but the rooms didn't match the layout. One day, he knocked on a wall in the hallway. It sounded hollow, so he broke through. Behind it, a hidden staircase, leading to a room with no windows. Inside, there was a single chair, and on the wall, a handprint. But the strangest thing? There was no dust. The chair had been used recently, and that night, he woke up to the sound of footsteps, coming from inside the wall. Would you enter a hidden room if you found one? Let us know in the comments. And if you think this was scary, wait until you hear the next story. Click here if you dare.